Amy, one quick question I might ask John and Carl. This is quite an involved process, and you provide a wonderful service. The question is, it's probably not for free. What are the fees that are charged as part of this, and how does that get accounted for?
That's always one of the first questions that we're asked is, what are your fees? And we love the attorney answer to that. Well, it depends. And it really does. There is no charge, there is no obligation and no charge for the first initial steps of this, where we sit down with the seller, we gather the documentation, we pre-screen, we meet with the seller, we determine if we can help the seller. At that point, we will then outline a fee structure for what we do. Now, I have to tell you, Catherine, that what John would be 60 or 70% of the businesses that approach us, we don't end up taking them to market because they're not ready at that time.
I would say, 60 at least.
Yeah, we want to, if we can't help a business owner achieve their objectives, we're going to step back from that and we're going to tell the seller that. So the fee will depend on the project itself. Is the seller able to gather the information? Is it a business that we can help achieve their objectives? If it is, then we'll lay out a contingency fee, and everything we do is contingent. Now, we're not like attorneys. Anybody know what an attorney's contingency fee is? It's usually 30 to 60%. Ours is nowhere near that. We work for a much smaller number than that, and we're paid on success. Now, sometimes we will have a retainer to begin this. You saw this process we go through. So we'll have a retainer that we charge on the front end, depending on the complexity of the transaction. And that retainer can range from a couple of $1,000s up, depending on what the complexity is. And the way that we have to market this business. We sometimes spend a lot of money on the front end marketing these because we can't put a sign out in front of the business for sale. I know that's kind of a broad answer. John, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I would just say that one thing that differs from a lot of other types of businesses like this, particularly real estate, is that we don't do dual agency. We only work for the seller. I still, for the life of me, can't figure out how a real estate agent can represent both sides of a deal. That's and maybe it's just because I've got this perspective of it, but we only work for one side or the other. Almost always we're working for the seller. Sometimes buyers will hire us to work for them to help them find the exact business they want. But we only work for one side or the other. So that helps protect you.